Hello and welcome to episode 5? Yes, episode 5 of Amorous, our wonderful furry romance dating sim. So, last time we had our second date with Lex, hanging out in the woods with Lex and her friends, going on a camping trip, and we shared a tent with Lex and had the sex scene with Lex. Yeah, who is a girl. And yeah, that's what we did last time. So we're going to hop back in. Oops. And apparently, it put us back in here. Don't know why it put us back into the club. Let's try and call Lex. Reception is really bad at the moment. I should try again when I'm back home. So let's go back home then. Talk to Kobe. And let's go home. Alright, so let's try and call Lex. So, okay, apparently we finished all the dates with Lex. So, in that case, we are going to actually... I think if we call Kobe, we can go back to Club Amorous. Alright. So, apparently... Well, I guess we can do this. Let's go ahead and hit on Kobe. He's not our biological brother. So I gotta be honest, going out together last night was never really about meeting anyone new. Oh, why did you go then? I didn't go to spend time with others, but to spend time with you, dummy. Me? But we barely saw each other last night. Well, okay, maybe I was watching you shake it more than we were hanging out. But I wanted to test the waters and know for sure that I wasn't just feeling jealous because I was lonely. I couldn't really bring myself to hit on other people when you were there. That was one of the doubts I wanted to cross off before I said something like this. I'm not quite sure where you're going with this, Sheldon. Are you coming on to me? I think I have feelings for you, Kobe. I think I always have. Oh, come on, you don't mean that. Wouldn't be the first time you've teased me for being too gullible. I know the kind of people you are into, and it's not flamers like me. I'm not pulling your leg this time. You make my heart race every time you come over. Even when I'm being as grumpy as possible, you find a way to make me smile. You might be a little flaming, but you're the more mature brother than I am most of the time. Who cares if you're gay? I guess I'm kinda gay too, for liking you so much. You mean it? I don't know exactly what to say to that. I've always loved you too, but like, family. What's Dad gonna think? Did he care when you came out of the closet? Well, no, I guess he didn't. It's a bit different when it's blood, though. You're talking about, like, weird legal ground. We aren't technically blood, Kobe. Mom met your dad way after both of us were born. Not to mention that Mom adopted me. Otherwise, I think we'd look a lot more similar. We're about as closely related as anyone in the club. I guess I've just been blind to it. I've always sort of felt like the younger brother, regardless of species. I guess I should be honest in return. Okay, here comes the I'm calling the therapist conversation. Stupid, stupid. I've kinda had a massive crush on you since middle school. Most of the times I teased you by tackling you to the bed or grinding on your lap to make you uncomfortable. I kinda hoped you would start getting into it so we could do stuff together. You always told me the way I acted and behaved was gross though, so I toned it down as we went through college. I've been really trying hard to give you your space, but I still really love you as well, more than just as your brother. I walk around the house and barely anything when we're both home to try and get you to do the same. I've just been too shy to ask. Wow, this is more serious than I thought. I had no idea this was both ways. His cheeks are bright red. Okay. I guess mine are too. Don't really see bright red cheeks, but maybe it's just hard to tell under the blue feathers. You know, we don't really need to tell Mom and Dad if anything happened between us. It's not like we don't hang out normally. They're barely home. We could get away with a lot of things. Are you saying we should fuck? Whoa, no. I meant we could get away with having feelings for each other. Coming to terms with that and stuff. I'm not saying we need to go steady or something. That might be a bit much, but... You want to fuck your little brother. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Why did I even go down this path? Too late to go back now. Okay. I've really done it now. He's trying to tease me, swaying his hips and playing with his shirt. I firmly caught him by the shoulders, trying to keep him still. It didn't seem to scare him very much, backing up to rub his feathery tail against the front of my pants anyways. I think we are both, mature enough to handle our feelings without acting like kids about it. I personally already feel a lot better just getting it off my chest. Oh, so now we should have fucked when we were kids? Now you're really being naughty. Okay, maybe that was something I got off to in high school more than once. Don't talk to me about tensions unless you have the balls to relieve them right away. I suppose liberation took many forms. I felt relieved for coming clean about my feelings for Kobe. I guess that wasn't too far away from feeling a rush of horniness, but as he turned back around to hug his arms around my neck, his expression changed from sultry to an expression that was nearer to romantic, like we were slow dancing inches from each other. I'm not kidding about being a confined pro-tier catcher, though. Will that be an issue? Oh, not kidding about being a confirmed pro-tier catcher. Will that be an issue? No, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Fuck, I mean, okay, you tease. Thank you for asking. Okay, I understand what this is. Basically, this is like... yeah. So... how are we gonna play this? Let's be a top. Let's be a top. Yeah. No problems there, then. We both know I've made you rock hard more than once. I saw your chub yesterday morning. That was morning wood. I wake up late, remember? Don't lie, that was a Kobe-induced broner. You've wanted to know what it's like to be in the position of my boyfriends for years. Look me in the eyes and tell me you aren't thinking about fucking me right now. Wow, this Kobe is very, very vulgar and very forward. Okay, you win. Alright, fine. You want to pry those words out of me that badly? Yes, I've thought about sleeping with you more than once. I'm honestly jealous when you bring people home, especially when I imagine that they're doing to you. Especially when I imagine what they're doing to you when I'm not there. It's enough to drive someone mad. I swallowed hard, feeling my nerves catch in my throat as Kobe swayed his hips and teased more information out of me. You were even my first, bat. And it's not like I don't still, you know, I've thought about you in all sorts of situations, most of which end in us cuddling in each other's embrace. Happy now, smart guy? You got my heart racing like crazy. I never knew you could talk such good talk. My knees are a little weak. It's all true. I never wanted things to be weird between us, so I kept it to myself. It'd never be weird between us. We're resolving the awkwardness right now. You're gonna take my hand and I'm taking you over to my bed. Then you're gonna pull down my pants, play with my ass, and let those frustrations out. Oh boy. You sure that's not gonna get weird? Do you love me or not? You know what? Let's go full force. Of course I love you. And there we go. There we go. We did it. 2 episodes, 2 sex scenes. Right there. Good job. Now he's in his underwear. Phew, Sheldon. That was... wow. That was an understatement. I think I may be in love with him even more than I first thought. Better keep his ego in check and not let him know how much he got to me. Yeah, wasn't bad, an 8 out of 10. Oh, sure. I heard you whimpering at such a high pitch, I thought the window was gonna break. You don't need to act tough and act like you aren't totally blown away. Okay, maybe I enjoyed it a little more than I let on. There you go. I had a great time too, as you can see. Now can't we be a lot more comfortable around each other after that? I would say a weight has been lifted. Yeah, but you're still sitting on me like a rocking bull. What's your rush? Are you the blow and go type? Well, I think I heard a car pull in about 5 minutes ago. Oh fuck, why didn't you tell me? Ah well, I wouldn't have stopped anyway. Pass me your shirt. Hey, I need that. What am I gonna wear? I'm not gonna wear it. I'm all wet and I'm not darting to the bathroom for a towel. My shirt is not a cum rag. Just chuck on something real quick. They aren't gonna check every crevice. Perfect timing. Our names were already being called from down the hallway. Footsteps were heading to our open doorway. Sure enough, we didn't even think of closing the damn thing before we decided to get all intimate with each other. It felt just like our old childhood scrambles to hide the fact we weren't sleeping but playing video games together or watching movies. Besides, my legs were near half asleep and we were soaked with each other. I had just enough time to hop into my underwear and a loose shirt before freezing in horror as Dad was standing in the doorframe. Kobe was halfway through wrestling his singlet back on. Luckily, he had already thrown on the underwear before Dad caught a glimpse of his blue ass. Or at least I hope. Oh lord, okay. That was close. Close for what? Oh, hey Dad, didn't expect to see you back yet. That was my dad, alright. He looked just like an old, uptight version of Kobe. He was already tensing his brow as if we just broke his favorite clock. He must be either smelling our panic sweat or the musk. You should give us more notice when you're going to be here on the weekend, Kobe. Oh, this is Dad. You should give us more notice when you're going to be here on the weekend, Kobe. Your mom is already scrambling to set up the table for our family dinner. She was wondering why there was so much banging and crashing coming from up here. Care to elaborate? Let's crack a joke. Oh, you know, sibling battling, getting up to all sorts of antics. Can't begin to explain the crazy stuff kids are into these days. Right. Well, whatever you two were doing, horsing around in here, keep it down tonight. Your mother comes home to relax, not to put up with your antics. Phew, that was a close one. We were nearly busted there. Do me a favor and go take a shower before coming down for dinner. You both smell like wet socks. I swear you haven't been able to keep this room clean and smelling fresh since you kids were babies. We will. Sorry for not warning that I'd be home rather than at my friend's place. It's nice seeing you too, Dad. We had a rule about pants, remember? Not everyone wants to see your butt parading around, boy. Go wash up and then we can all have a nice dinner. Damn, Dad really rode your ass there. Better him ride my ass than have him walk in on you riding it. Oh, yeah, a bit early to come out with that one. Want to save time and have the shower together? You know it. You really should come with me to my dorm sometime. We could hang out like this more often, and we won't have Dad breathing down our butts. It's a date. Let's go get cleaned up before Dad realizes that wasn't dirty socks. Okay, we almost had another quickie in the shower, although Dad might have caught on that we were in there together if neither of us answered his dinner call for as long as that might have taken us. We contented ourselves by simply embracing and soaping each other down. The night transpired just like a normal family dinner. Lots of laughs to be had, and it was nice to spend that time together with myself, and Kobe's often so busy. We ended up watching TV for some time with Mom and Dad. Nothing special, but some summer blockbuster. Kobe needed to head out to his dorm to get some homework done, and as I said goodbye out to his car, we gave each other our first romantic kiss, squeezing the other's fingers. Funny how the order of things worked out. Hold up. Funny how the order of things worked out. It's like we skipped a few bases and the tongue lapping during our bedroom fun didn't really carry the same weight as our tender goodbye out under the stars. He let me know if I wanted to do it again. All I needed to do was call. So, okay, we did that. That happened. My brother's bed. Okay. So, yeah, that's a thing. Well, since that didn't take very long at all, why don't we go ahead and call this a long episode, and we'll go on see if we can do another date with Kobe. Call. Ring, click. Hey bro, what's up? Oh. Okay, I guess booty call. I'm kind of lonely. Want to have some fun? Hell yeah, you know it. Click. Okay. Apparently that just does that. Alright. Wonderful. This is exactly what... Oh, wow. This game. This game sometimes. Okay, let's see if we can, Kobe is kind of preoccupied right now. Call-ups. Reception is really bad at the moment. I should try again when I'm back home. I don't know how to actually... Operators, Okay, let's, how do we do this? Okay, here we go. Back to home. Alright, so, since that didn't work, let's just, God, how to do it? How did I do it? Okay, there we go. Let's just go back to Club Amorous, and we'll pick a new person, because apparently that's a thing that we now have to do. Let's talk to the bartender. My hand barely touches the counter before the bartender is right in front of me. From here I can see that his uniform, while dapper, is clearly tailored for the club. His sleeveless vest and cuffed wrists are capped by a revealing tuxedo-styled brief as well. Despite his state of near undress, he seems quite chipper and busts down the counter in front of me with a rag. Welcome to Amorous, hottest club in town. I'm Jax, and I'll be your beverage artisan this evening. He winks at me before continuing. What can I do for you? Let's ask him about the club. Anything in particular? Where do I start? I've never been here before. A friend convinced me to come and then kind of left me in the lurch. What's a night here like? Well, there's the usual club crew looking to have a good time in any way possible. The dance floor is usually pretty packed, but most people are looking for someone to connect with. Either that or they're telling me their problems. And of course, the drinks are all top-notch. What brought you here? Let's say I wanted a distraction. Just had quite a bit on my mind, though thought I could use change of scene. My friend agreed and suggested we come here. I suppose it's just a little overwhelming. I chuckled nervously. Sorry, it's not quite the scene I'm used to. It never is the first time. Believe me, I've seen just about every flavor of person walk through that front door. Still, maybe you should mingle a bit. Most of the people here tonight are regulars. Who knows, you might meet someone interesting. Let's ask about him. Maybe so. You seem particularly interesting. Is that your regular uniform or your own choice? My own choice. They are pretty free with the dress code here, as you can tell from some of the patrons. I like to stand out in my own way from the rest of the crowd. Was there a reason behind your outfit? I'm gonna say comfort. Thought I might be dancing or something. Figured it was a good idea to be comfortable, though I can see that's not what most people dress for. True enough, most of the regulars like to show off the assets they have. Nothing wrong with being comfortable either, I just enjoy riding the edge between classy and risque. Sadly, as much as I enjoy talking about clothing, I'm on the clock. If you're not going to order, I should check in with the other customers. Can I get you something? Let's have a drink. As I slid into one of the stools, he set a glass in front of me. I think I'd like a drink. What did you have in mind? Let's do something alcoholic. I came here to relax, and now is as good a time as any to start looking over the drink menu and consider my options. I'll have something to help take the edge off. He looked at me appraisingly for a moment. I see you as a beer kind of guy, not enough frog in the face for anything too hoppy. Sorry, bartender humor. Let me get you a house ale. He disappeared below the bar for a moment, rising to produce a pint glass. He slid it under the tap, pulling a nice long draught before flicking his wrist and sending the drink sailing in my direction. Too surprised, I didn't reach out soon enough, but found the drink stopped right in front of me without a drop spilled. The tip of his tail curled around the base. One ale, shaken but not stirred. He smiled and released the glass from his prehensile grip before I wrapped my fingers around it. Let's applaud that. Wow, that was quite the show. Always happy to serve an appreciative customer. Is there anything else I can do for you? Sure. Well, you could still start by telling me how you learned how to do that. I sipped at my drink as he chuckled and leaned forward on the bar. Drive, determination, months of nothing better to do, and the need for tips to feed my eating and rent-paying habits. He winked at me and stood back up. Anything else I could do for you? Let's ask about him. Yeah, you can tell me a little more about yourself. I thought you came here to have fun, not just chat up the bartender. Not much to tell, honestly. What you see is what you get. Seems like despite his friendly demeanor, he's hesitant to talk about himself. Let's introduce ourselves. How about I start? My name's Sheldon, and I'd like to get to know you better. Sorry, being a bartender tends to get you quite a bit of unwanted attention. You already know my name, but it's nice to meet you, Sheldon. Got to say, you're already not what I expected of a customer. Let's ask about the job. Clearly you enjoy what you do. What brought you to bartending? As I sipped my drink, I noticed his smile begin to falter. He quickly tried to cover up. Oh, the woman and the nightlife. It's always fun to be able to put on a show and make people's nights. It's nothing special, really. Surely you didn't just come here to try and play psychologist to a bartender. He's still very guarded. Maybe I shouldn't press him. Let's back off. Sorry, I didn't mean to press. Seemed like a great guy, and, well, I'm out here to meet people. I stood up and picked up my drink. He hesitated a moment before putting a hand on mine. You've got to understand one thing. Being back here, being something for everyone, you build barriers. It's harder to take people at face value sometimes. We both looked at each other for a moment as I considered what he said. Let's sit back down. I stopped, placed my drink back on the bar, and settled in. Too much about this bartender interested me to just let it go at that. However, I'd have to be a little more reserved with my curiosity. I can understand that. I'm sure you get more than your share of unwanted conversations. There was an awkward pause, him absently cleaning the bar with a rag as I sipped my drink. I didn't want to sit in silence, but I didn't want to scare him off again, so I considered my options. Let's order another drink. As I slid into one of the stools, he set a glass in front of me. What did you have in mind? Something non-alcoholic. Still not sure about the culverts. Just a ginger ale for now, thanks. Living dangerously, I see. Or perhaps designatedly. Just ribbing you. One ginger ale coming up. With a rather surprising flourish, he slid his hand against the glass and rolled it between each finger before catching it by the base. He brought both back up to the counter, flipping the glass over while still holding it, and shot a steady stream into it like he was firing a pistol. He released the glass and, drawing his hand back, drew a rag from his cuff and wiped the bar in front of me clean. Your drink. Let's applaud that again. Wow, that was quite the show. Happy to serve. Always happy to serve an appreciative customer. Is there anything else I can do for you? Let's say no. I don't think that's. I think there is a way that you probably can get with the bartender, but I'd have to look it up so that I can actually do it he might be the last person I go and do. I'm good, thanks. Okay. Who can we talk to? I've done this person before, and it's cute. It's really cute. Never done this person. Let's do the one I've already done before, because it is really, really a nice story. Okay. So, despite him being alone at the bar of one of the most active nightclubs I've seen in recent memory, my eye was drawn to the slender feline leaning over his book. He would sit there for a long moment, and then without cue, he would scribble frantically in the leather-bound journal spread out before him. Now and then, he would lift his glass from the bar and lean back, pausing to take a drink as if someone was expecting him to. This adorable ruse was undermined, however, as each sip was followed by a grimace of barely contained disgust. Let's go over and ask about the scribbles. I moved my seat closer to his, stealing a glance or two at what he was doing. The whole page was packed from end to end with the stream of consciousness, broken only by the occasional notes and edits. He must have been less in his own world than I thought, because I became aware of his eyes locked on me with the ends of his mouth turned downwards. Pardon me, it's not polite to read over someone's shoulder. Oh god. This is why I like this guy. It's so cute. It's not polite to read over someone's shoulder, particularly the shoulder of a complete stranger. Sorry, just you seem to be working too intently. I was wondering what could keep you so engrossed when an entire nightclub is pumping and thumping around you. Who's to say that pumping and thumping don't help me contribute to my creativity? Being immersed in the beating heart of popular culture can stimulate the mind. He's not big words, but he's very well spoken. And it's a little hard to read sometimes. Alright, fair enough. Myself, I usually prefer a little peace and quiet if I'm going to be working on something important. Particularly because strange people might come up and start reading over your shoulder. Oh, and it's Sheldon, by the way. Sorry, I know questions first isn't exactly the best manners. You just seemed a little out of your element. Seth. I'm Seth. I'll admit, it's an escape, but it's also to help me work through the creative process. Many famous authors immerse themselves in the popular culture of their day, draw new experiences, and observe people in new environments. I suppose that's true. I thought most of them indulged in part because it was their particular interest more than strict research. You don't strike me as the type to write romance or erotica, though. Why would you think that? I mean, I don't, but why would you assume that is the only motivation for me to be at this club? Got that smirky blush again. Mostly because even the bouncers are wearing half the clothing you are, and because I came here with my brother, Kobe, specifically because this is his favorite place to meet guys for a fling. You have to admit, your choice of ambiance suggests something more than just curiosity about popular culture. By now he was blushing, furiously, the spots of red visible beneath his snowy white cheek fur. Despite his attempt at appearing aloof, something spoke about his relative discomfort in being here. I'm not here to judge, it's just, well, interesting. I get enough stories from Kobe to get an idea of how this place tends to function, and you appear to be actively avoiding that function. Well, I'm honing my craft, trying to push myself outside of my comfort zone so I have a breadth of experience to write from. It's the sort of thing authors do. So you're a writer. Maybe you've written something I've heard of before. What do you have out there? Well, I'm not published per se. I'm building a body of work before I approach anyone. Wouldn't want to come off as some sort of dilettante. I'm not sure what that word means. Dilettante. Probably not saying it right either. Let's ask him if he has something he can read. I suppose that makes sense. Authors rarely have a single work to their name. Do you have something I could read? He sat upright, the slouch that had been so prevalent before suddenly vanishing. His ears perked up as well, before he glanced to the side and then back to me. It took a long moment before he responded. I suppose you could look over a couple of my things. It's all still rough drafts, though. I haven't had it run by an editor, so don't expect too much. He hesitantly, he dug in the shoulder bag sitting beside him before producing another composition notebook that he sat down in front of me. It's mostly snippets and some poetry. I know, it's self-indulgent to play with rhymes, but you have to find your muse when it comes. He watched intently as I skimmed over his work. It was mostly fluff, fragments of ideas, and the occasional clever rhyme. Each piece seemed short, as if it were cut off before completion. He seems to have trouble sticking to an idea. Maybe that's why he was looking for inspiration. Well, what did you think? I mean, I can't expect much from what I provided, but input is always appreciated. I always find that honesty is the best policy in these situations, so let's be honest. You've got some good starters here, but that's most of what I'm seeing. Some good opening ideas, like you said. This was mostly just scribbles, but have you gotten to finishing a work yet? The muse comes and goes, as with all creative endeavors. I got plenty of good material to work with. I just need to find the right words to let it grow in. The right world to let it grow in. You seem very sensitive about your work, for someone who's writing in the public eye. Well, writing is it pulls quite deeply from my internal well. Everything I write is in some way a reflection of myself. I suppose it's easy to take things personally. Well, if I may be so bold, what brought you to the club tonight? Since you clearly aren't driven by a desire to quietly observe, nor are you obviously looking to get drunk or dance. I'm curious as to what your motivation is. Okay, now we got a different expression going on here. This is very predatory. Mostly, I guess, to keep myself occupied and distracted. Kobe, my brother, very much likes this place, but doesn't always want to go alone. I needed time away from my problems, and he wanted to ride. A match made in, well, necessity. Well then, where else might you have gone if you had the option, ignoring cost, location, or any of that? I think I'll have to answer this personally because, like, I like interesting things, but I prefer to be somewhere where where it's quiet and I can just, do my own stuff if I'm gonna be quite blunt. And I don't like going to clubs. So I tend to be a little more restrained. So I probably would have gone somewhere a little quieter. A library, museum, or something like that. Somewhere I can hear my own thoughts. A smile twitched at the edges of his mouth as he scribbled into his notebook. He tapped the eraser against the page before looking back up at me thoughtfully. Feeling a bit out of your element too then? I can certainly understand that feeling, but it's always good to break out of your comfort zone. He seemed to be rather thrilled with this pseudo-interrogation. He looked back up from his notebook with excitement. So, being that we are in the club, and you already expressed curiosity as to why I'm here, what do you like about this club? Let's go with socializing. When I'm feeling mopey or just have too much time, I like to find other people to be around. Conversation, laughs, and banter between friends really helps to perk me back up. He looked a little surprised, jotting a few extra lines in his notebook before glancing back up at me. I suppose I should be flattered that you've directed your attentions to just me then. Extroverts commonly don't enjoy engaging with me for extended periods of time. So, we've established where you want to be and why you want to be there, but the big question is, who do you want to be there with? What kind of person would you be looking for at this club? I get the feeling that this is a somewhat pointed question. I also get the feeling that there is something more going on here than simple research. He shot me a Cheshire cat grin and placed his hands on his chest in mock shock. Clearly, he was enjoying this intimate game of 20 questions. Oh, we could be really bold, really forward and say you. But let's go with someone interesting. I'm hoping to meet someone interesting, someone with stories and a sort of confident charm that enraptures you. The kind of person you can have a good laugh or a thoughtful discussion with. Apparently, I said the right thing. A smile spread across his lips before resting the pen on the table. Without even looking to the notebook, he continued. I agree completely. Looks can be nice, but if there's no substance behind them, then what's the point? A wholly rounded individual is far more important than just one aspect. Alright, one more question, and then I really should find Kobe and figure out what he has planned for the rest of the night. I suppose I have been prying pretty heavily. That said, you have been a very interesting character study, to say the least. It's rare I actually get to interact with someone. I'd hoped I was more than just an intellectual diversion. Is that not the case? I didn't mean it like that. I mean, it's been interesting talking with you. I've been here for a couple of hours already, and you're the first person who stopped to talk that didn't want to take a drink order. I smiled and leaned on the bar. He was awfully cute when he desperately tried to regain his composure. So, what's the last question? He hesitated, glancing down at his notebook for a second before scribbling something in the margins. As he looked back up, I could see his cheeks were still quite flushed. I was heading to the library tomorrow to do some research for a story, and there was a reading I was thinking of going to. Could I convince you to come along? Sure, I'd love to. What time? Really? I mean, great. The reading is a little before noon, but I'll be there early. Let me give you my number so you can call and let me know when you get there. He tore off the corner of a notebook page absent-mindedly, leaving a snippet of poetry in the upper half, and passed it to me. Thanks. It'll be nice to have someone else there. It's always a little awkward to go alone. Sounds like a date then. I suppose it is. I need to get going, but be sure to call me as soon as you're up. I'll make sure to save us a seat. After gathering his things, he shot me another adorable smile and strolled off towards the door. I folded up the paper and slipped it into my pocket. So I got Seth's phone number. Alright, so let's talk to Kobe and go back home. Hey bro, lots of nice guys around tonight. What's up? Let's go home. Shall we head back home? Already? Okay, I guess it is getting late. Let's go. Alright, so that is going to be it for this episode of Amorous. When we come back next time, I think we will see how things go with Seth. Thank you very much for watching, and take care. Have a nice day. Bye.